Someone asked a fantastic question. Why did they choose to ask for sanctions against Brian Friedman and Kevin Fritz? So it says here, Dear Judge Lyman, Plaintiff Blake Lively respectfully moves for an order imposing sanctions on two of defendants' attorneys, Brian Friedman and Kevin Fritz, for conduct that impeded, delayed, and frustrated the fair examination of one of their designated experts, Nicole Alexander, during her deposition on December 15, 2025. So they're trying to establish a pattern, right? But the way they're trying to establish the pattern kind of reminds me of the way they're trying to establish the pattern with Jed Wallace by bringing in cases that have nothing to do with this case. And so it's kind of weird how they chose to provide backup for sanctions against Friedman and Fritz. So I understood the Fritz one, but then there's a letter to counsel about Ellen Garofalo, and there's a whole list of things that Ellen Garofalo supposedly did. And then the next one was with Alexandra Shapiro and Jonathan Bach. Alexandra Shapiro barely spoke, but in this excerpt they gave. But like, why are those the backup? If it's about Brian Friedman and Kevin Fritz, if they're trying to establish a pattern, it's why don't they bring those people into the sanctions? And I think it's an optic thing. They, at the end of the day, it's about PR. They want to continue to ding on Brian Friedman because he was the face of this thing, and they had a thing against Brian Friedman from the get-go. But the Kevin Fritz thing is a new thing, but I think it's because people love Kevin Fritz. People love Kevin Fritz. And I think that's enough for Blake Lively to sometimes be irritated with somebody when they become beloved. At the end of the day, I stand by my statement earlier on that the only reason that Blake Lively continues to kick this down the road is mainly around wanting to control the narrative. And the longer she has time to continue to smear Justin Baldoni in the press, the more that she has an opportunity to try to have content creators potentially make an inflammatory, inaccurate statements based off of the articles that she's putting out in the media, the better it is for her later on. But I don't think anything she's doing now will overcome the lack of evidence or the damning evidence against her once her own evidence is revealed.